Good. Let's start then.
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
With our second podcast. Our second recording. How does it feel?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
What feels good?
That we're doing it.
Yeah?
That after the first, there was a second.
Second always a bit easier, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we'll see if it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, where did we speak about during the first one?
About what we're doing, we spoke.
Yeah. How crazy we are or not?
You more than me.
Me? Crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll find out maybe. This podcast. How crazy we both are, or as
Yeah.
individuals. So how would you summarize it? Our last one.
Our
Or
last
the first
one.
one also.
The first one. Summarize.
Small
Well-
recap.
Well, small recap is that we're traveling full time. The smallest recap.
That's the conclusion.
Yeah, the smallest recap.
Yeah.
No, the things we discussed is that back then we were in Budapest.
Yeah.
Now we're in Antalya, right?
So a little update from here. Our, what is it? Second sofa then, huh?
Yeah.
Second accommodation.
Mm-hmm. Second apartment
So where are we, Anda?
in Antalya.
Antalya.
In a
In Turkey.
pretty hotel, actually. Well, hotel apartments, kind of.
Yeah.
But we have everything. We have a kitchen, separate living room, bedroom. It's nice. I mean, in the picture looks nice, but the critic in me sees a lot of little things.
Yeah. But you have like an eagle eye for that.
Yeah.
Crazy. No, it's nice, right? We have everything. Little
Yeah.
balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the main reason we went here is to warm up a bit, I think, eh?
Yeah.
After Romania,
Mm-hmm.
where it started to get cold in November.
Mm-hmm.
We now wanted some sun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this was kind of good connection, right? Towards our further destinations, which is more towards Asia.
Yeah.
Actually, this is already Asia, right?
It is Asia.
In this part of Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so far it's what we expected, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful, nice, warm beach. Nice. The nature also.
Yeah. Today we went in the car a bit around.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Surroundings. And it's pretty.
check out.
So yeah, from the previous podcast, we swapped one country,
Yeah,
one continent also.
one city different. Last time Budapest. Now Antalya.
Now Antalya. And yeah, last time we spoke about what we're doing mainly.
Yeah,
We said how we had it. We had it all. We had everything. Yeah?
yeah,
And we left it all. And we started this traveling. So I thought maybe it's nice that we say how come that we're doing it.
how we reached this point of our
Yeah,
journey.
Yeah,
That we
because
know.
it sounds quite crazy, right? Like you have
Yeah.
it all, you managed.
As maybe people noticed from the previous one, if they watched it, we kind of don't have any plans for our podcast. Let's say we want to make it as natural as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have a, I don't know, I say like a script or something. We keep it, even awkward moments or whatever, it will probably be in there because we also don't really gonna edit it to make it as pure as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also our style a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, this little sidestep, but I remember now the couple that we saw in the city in Antalya here, making recordings, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and they were like doing 20 times exactly the same recording, and the girl didn't like it, and the boyfriend couldn't do it correct, I think, and it was so kind of meant to be spontaneous, but it was so fake.
Yeah, like she was running, but she kept
Yeah.
running for so many times. She was already like,
Yeah. And every time, no, again, and then it's like, oh, then I'm a bit cringing. Like, they're probably gonna upload like, oh, so spontaneous story and all that stuff. And it's like behind the scenes, let's say.
yeah.
So, but anyway, go back to us. I just popped in my mind. Yeah, maybe it's good to speak a bit about ourselves, maybe a bit more background information, who we are, how we
So,
met, and
who
how
are
we
you?
reached to this point that we are now sitting here on the sofa in Antalya in an apartment close to the beach.
Maybe really shortly how we met. Maybe we keep it for another podcast. How we
Well,
met.
you can make 4 podcasts about that, I think. A romantic love story.
How we meeting each other ever since.
Now, but maybe a little bit about you, Anda. Right?
But
For
I
people
asked
like,
you first.
oh, I have to start.
Who are
Okay.
you?
Well, I'm Jelte.
Jelte.
I'm from the Netherlands,
Yeah.
as you might hear as well. Although I upgraded my English, I think, because I was really
Big
bad.
hype.
I was really bad, actually. I hated the most, actually, in school. But maybe that was because I sucked at it, actually.
So Jelte hated English and
Yeah.
he ends up speaking English every day.
Yeah. Well, they said that the best way to learn it is to either find English-speaking girlfriend or go to England or something, English-speaking country. By the way, I did that, so that helped indeed a lot. That's way better than in school.
I can't hear it.
My English accent. I can fake it, but people will hear directly then. I cannot do that for 45 minutes or however how long we do it. Now, so a bit about myself. I'm now 29 years old,
Yeah.
from the Netherlands. Young. I feel so young now. And yeah, I went to school in Netherlands. Did a bit of university. Then, of course, you have to start some career, do something that you think you like to do, which I think is a big struggle for a lot of people in general, to find your passion, right? Yeah. Actually, I cannot complain because as a young kid, I already said the same thing, what I wanted to be, except the firefighter and stuff. I had another classic one, being pilot. And yeah, no, I just kept saying that all my life. So I basically made all my decisions based on that. Like, I know, I want to be pilot. In the end, luckily I managed.
Sir, pilot.
So then I became pilot at some point in my life, yeah.
What kind of pilot?
An airline pilot. Flying on a Boeing. As you might know. Because well, that's the bridge to now your story, and then we stay at maybe at the aircraft. Because then it maybe comes together, our stories.
I don't know. So you became a pilot?
I don't want to talk about, I know, that's boring, right? School and your
yeah.
CV and what you worked and stuff. We can do that if, I know,
Yeah.
if you would like to hear that.
Maybe in another podcast more in depth.
Yeah, maybe like.
Okay. Well,
Oh well, yeah, maybe a bit more personal things. I don't know. I always played football. That's one of my big passions. I also like to watch it. I was quite football focused actually, but sailing I did. In the Netherlands, you can, of course, there are good conditions for sailing. So I quite like sailing as well, which has a lot in common with flying as well. So maybe that's why I got those two hobbies together. Yeah, I have a brother and a sister. Lovely parents. Grew up on a farm, so countryside. And yeah, actually, I think I can say I had a nice childhood. Grew up with a lot of space, nice friends, which I still have contact with. Not all of them, of course, but my best ones. Yeah, it's quite a stable, safe growing up, I think. I'm from the northern part of Netherlands, which I think is also a bit known for that. A bit more maybe cold people, but really down to earth. And yeah, I think I resonate with that. So yeah, that's summarizes me a bit, I think.
Good.
So if you're a bit cold, you need compensation, right? So that's what a relationship is for. So there we have Anda,
Yeah.
Latina, warm, more passion. I also go down to earth, although he can also be high in the sky, I think. Like
That's where you met me.
Don't spoil it, don't spoil it. So Anda, what about you?
What? Anda.
From?
Romania.
So I can drink a bit, so you can speak.
I don't know what to say. Oh yeah, I'm 30. I'm 1 year older than him. So I'm in the 30 club. 30s. Dirty 30s. What I've been doing? I've been studying, of course. Like every Romanian child, good child.
Hard studies. Drilling.
I found them hard. They were not per se hard, but for me it was hard.
Yeah, all the people that I met from Romania so far, like, I don't know anybody that says, like, oh, school is so easy and nice. Everybody was like, tak, tak.
Yeah.
And then the Netherlands is really like, I think a bit the opposite. Your parents don't really care as long as you have good grades. Yeah, anyway.
This is another subject.
So you went
Spoiler
to
alert, biggest trauma of my life. Let's go over it.
terrible time during school.
Yeah, I found it a difficult time. Yeah.
So,
And after lots of studies of university, I decided that life would be better abroad. I didn't see many suitable solutions for me at that point. So I decided to start working when I was 21
as what?
as cabin crew
In aviation.
in aviation.
Was it a dream of you?
Not really, but actually when
You thought about it? Or-
when I flew towards my training course for aviation, that was the second time I was in an aircraft. But when I was a child, I remember I saw those Barbies and there was one dressed in uniform and it was a stewardess. I found it so cool. When I was a child, I said, I want to do the same when I'm going to be old.
Yeah. I think it's...
I don't know if I really put it somewhere in the universe or like, I don't know.
Well, was it more like you knew that point, I want this? Or was it one of the opportunities that came up and you were like, well, why not?
No, it was an opportunity that came up. Yeah, I went to the interview more for fun.
To see.
To gain some knowledge because back then I didn't speak much English. Just like what I studied in school, but of course now in every day I did not speak, so
The same, yeah.
I found it as good training anyway. But it happened that I passed the interview, and after
Surprise.
I passed the interview, I had to call my mom. Hey, I went to an interview, and guess what? I even passed it, and guess what? It means I'm gonna move abroad.
I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah.
That was hard for them or not?
The only child.
Yeah. Say goodbye. So off you went to Scotland.
Scotland. And there I worked a lot, a few years.
Yeah.
And I had it all for my position. Yeah, I reached the highest I could.
Was happy?
Yes and no. I was happy because I had money. I was happy with my condition where I was. I could afford many things, so that was great.
Yeah.
But I was working, overworked, of course. It was hard. You know very well how it's aviation.
Yeah, it's like
Wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
crazy
and,
times.
Work. On Christmas Day, that was the only day where we didn't work, but New Year's Eve and Easter, name it, birthday, any party of your friends, whatever.
It's funny because also people go to aviation or work in aviation maybe because you have more off days, more holidays, or holiday days, they think. But you actually end up working all the holidays.
Yeah.
And you get off on the random Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something like that.
When nobody takes any holiday.
Yeah. Which actually has also benefits, right?
Yeah.
Can be less busy. But
Yeah.
so yeah, you went from Romania to Scotland.
Where I met you.
Yeah.
After a few years.
That's where I come in the picture, I think.
After a few years where
Yeah.
I met you.
So I went from Netherlands, did my, I don't know if people know, but we can speak also another time about that. But pilot training, I went abroad for that. So I lived in the UK, then in America for 8 months as well. And then started working in Portugal. And then I was transferred to Scotland at some point. And then it was my third flight,
Yeah.
I think, yeah. My third flight as a first officer, so
In the base, yeah.
I didn't know anybody. New guy from the Netherlands. I was 23, I think.
24.
24 at that time. And then it happened that I flew with you.
Yeah.
So we were colleagues.
Actually, on my first Budapest flight.
To Budapest, yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first Budapest. I think it was the second Budapest in the base. So it was my first Budapest for sure. So it was just like.
Yeah. So then we had a classic.
So it's round.
Yeah.
Our story started in
it
Budapest.
started there and it starts again there.
Yeah.
The new one.
That was nice.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's where it started. But yeah, it's a bit, I know, somehow, I know, it's so like classical kind of,
Yeah.
because everybody in aviation knows like, or thinks like, right, that all the cabin crew sleep with all the pilots, and
pilots,
you know,
yeah.
the other way around. Which we're not gonna lie about, that also happens, of course. Like, I don't know, flirting and stuff. Because, yeah, I think it's also one of the nice things actually about it, that you, I mean, you go to work, you take care how you look, right? You go in your uniform, so you, I think, look good, no matter what. Because you cannot go in a Sunday morning hangover phase. You cannot go to work, of course. And yeah, and I think there work also pretty people. And I think also why we think matched well, I think people that work in aviation, they like traveling in general,
Yeah.
right? Going to
Well,
different
You
countries.
should like.
Well, you have to like it, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it depends which airline you are and stuff. But anyway, you're always on the go, indeed. Yeah, that's how it all started. At some point we lived together there.
And it ended up quick because it started and
We moved fast, let's say. Yeah,
it started and we literally moved.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was good, it's good.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, well, we took it also slow in the beginning to find out, right, if we are just becoming friends or if there's more, let's say. But yeah, I
But
think,
then it went quick. After 5 months,
yeah,
we quit Edinburgh completely.
yeah,
Jobs, house. And we moved to Netherlands, to Amsterdam.
yeah. Why was that?
You had a job.
Yeah, I got a job offer in a Dutch company, which I kind of always wanted, because my home country.
Life dream.
Yeah, and in aviation it also works a bit like that, right? That you start a bit lower and then you work your way up if you get a better company with better conditions. And that kind of already was playing or start to happen when I met you, kind of in that phase. But in aviation, the things go really slow as well. It's really conventional. So that took some time. Before I knew that, I got the job in Netherlands.
That you forgot to announce me about.
It's maybe not the best thing to say if you're dating. Well, I was not lying about it.
I even asked you.
But it's also like in that phase that you do applications and it takes sometimes weeks. This process. Yeah, you cannot say what can you say? Okay, you can say that you're busy with it, but there's a lot of unsureness about it. Plus, then you get this thing, like you don't want your current company to maybe to find out that you are like looking for other things, and those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's not. So then we moved to Netherlands.
So we moved to Netherlands. Yeah. You with the job.
Yeah.
The job.
Yeah, I was still flying.
The most important job of your life. That's what you wanted always.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that you reach it, because of course it's like your goal, right? And then it's always good. Plus, also there's a lot of people that want it and they don't reach it. So it's never guaranteed, let's say. But yeah, of course, in the beginning everything is so nice. I'm not gonna lie, and it's still until the last day that I worked as a pilot, like I enjoyed everything about it. It's a really cool job. I honestly can say that. Like that's also.
I've never been a pilot, but I can feel what you feel because I know aviation is special. We all say it's like a drug. Once you have it in the veins, you're always like, give it to me back.
Yeah, I think it has something.
I mean, it's really bad. It's an addiction. Come on, it's bad if you think about for yourself, for the body, like the pressure, the conditions. You're dry like a raisin. You wake up so early, or you end up so late, and like you can't. There's not enough fingers.
Eating in a dirty aircraft.
Yeah,
going to the toilet in a dirty aircraft.
Not enough fingers to name everything that is bad about it, and you still want it.
The air pressure, like you can have. I luckily didn't really have it, but I know a lot of colleagues or ex-colleagues, they had issues with their guts and, bloating. And
I had, yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody had at some point maybe. Because all the time up and down, especially if you do 4 flights a day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so not the most healthy, but it's fun.
But addicting, like.
Yeah, I also, I'm not gonna lie, in the end, even if you wake up at 4 in the morning, which is of course horrible. Yeah,
It's something nice about it.
Yeah, if you start with the flight, you do your preparations, and I know you have a nice colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Anyway, so go a bit forward in time. So.
So you kept working.
Yeah, you kept working. I think you
came to Amsterdam like a little flower, no really plans.
Yeah.
Some savings and nothing else. Yeah.
We rented something.
So we rented for the first year.
In Amsterdam we lived.
Amsterdam city center. It was really like.
That was high standards.
And I tried some jobs, some nicer than others, like restaurants and babysitting and I don't know what else, but.
You tried.
Yeah.
But I was also, I think it's because I think that's also like in Amsterdam everybody says like, oh, everybody speaks English. Yeah, true. Kind of everybody speaks it, but still it's not that easy, I think. If you're from abroad unless I think it's easier if you already work for a abroad company and they position you, of course, in Amsterdam, easy. You only have to show up there. But to go there, like you maybe without any background thing, you don't know the language. Yeah, especially if you want a job, no offense, but no waiter or something like that. It can be challenging, I think.
For me it was, I don't know, maybe I could fought a bit harder. I don't know.
That's maybe another thing we still actually have a bit in our relationship, I think. Right? The bit more conventional way. Right? you're more doing in the house. I'm doing more outside the house. Also with the providing. Like we maybe were also lucky that, because as maybe people know, pilot is quite an okay job. You have quite a good pay. So we had the luxury that we didn't have to both work, which I think
Yeah, of course
if
it
that
was
would not be
nice
the
when I also did, but yeah, for me it was really stressful. Like after restaurants, and which was the restaurant was quite okay, to be honest, like the easiest challenging wise. But like I worked in customer support, and I remember like my last day working, I was like typing and like crying. I didn't know why, of happiness or of sadness, or like I don't know, like just like all the emotions were out. Like oh, I'm so done with it. Like oh, it's good. That is the last day. Like oh, like
ups and downs.
yeah.
But I think that also helped. I want to say, like, if we were not in that situation that you, let's say, had to work, that's also a bit different, maybe different pressure, right? It's like
Yeah.
now you maybe didn't settle for less than something, and if you really have to, of course, and a lot of people live like that, they don't have the luxury. Yeah, you just have to
Keep
work,
pushing.
and whatever job you have to take, which probably is not going to help with your happiness level. And let's say if you are forced to take a job that you don't want.
So
Anyway, so we lived in
I
Amsterdam.
think there was a big click actually in the story. If I can already like
Yeah.
guide the discussion, like the fact that I didn't manage to adapt. I didn't manage to find a job that was really suiting me. It was really like exhausting for me. After the job I even tried a master's. So I finished a master's degree in Amsterdam.
Yay.
Which there was also another settle point in the bigger story. It's the masters, like I don't know why I did it, honestly. Maybe we discussed about it, like
No, but that's funny, maybe, because indeed, like, I remember that I went to work, and then of course colleagues ask, "Hey, what is your girlfriend doing?" So, "Oh, she's doing a master's," and of course they go, "Oh, what?" and blah blah. "Oh, she wants to do something in that field." Like, not really, actually. So, "Oh, why is she doing the master's then?" Yeah, I don't know, like, to just have it.
But
Of course,
afterwards I found out why I did the masters. I did it for a precise reason, and that was like with that masters I started to question everything.
yeah,
It made me, like the researcher brain switched on in me. I did not have that kind of attitude before.
yeah, true. Indeed, I saw that changing in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started to really question
Question
everything.
more things, like
Everything I started to question,
Like
first related to the masters, and then related to life, and then it
you
went
applied it to
deep.
real life,
Yeah.
like your final thesis,
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. So with me,
Yeah, and
kind of like the build up of why I am here today, it's been, not able to adapt, not able to keep on with a 9 to 5 or like
and the funny part,
this kind of jobs,
your master's was specifically about big organizations also, all kind of organizations, and then with the critical look, you also find out all the negative things about it, and that you're just a number.
I started to find out that I hate them as much as I hate the school, which is as well an organization. Yeah.
Circle around again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Anyway, we can also speak about that probably a whole podcast.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing, what also happened at the same time, was the whole COVID thing, which of
Yeah.
course made us let's say, look critical at it and have definitely our opinion about it. And that we started to question more things, right? It was, I think, a lot of things that came together.
Yeah.
That we're like, what are we doing? It's like...
From my side, there were more things coming together, of course.
And
And I think I kind of dragged you in this.
yeah, true. Because I of course went just to work, did
You
my
were
thing.
busy, you were working, and I recognized that
In the
behavior very well
rat
because
race, as they say.
I've been there myself for
Mm.
many years, 5 years, like
True, and you
on
become
repeat.
also ignorant. I had it as well. You just go to work, you do your
You don't have time.
Yeah.
You spend so much time of your day already with work
Yeah.
and being there that when you arrive home you need something to distract yourself and
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference between us. And I think it's really good in the end that you maybe had more time to
Yeah.
be with yourself.
That's exactly that. I had a lot of time.
And then of course you started to question me as well, like, hey, what do you think about this or that, or
And because we speak a lot with each other.
yeah, I think that's why we
I remember
both started to.
at the beginning the conversations were really weird. Like I was asking you things, and I was hearing the answers, and I was rolling my eyes like, oh, really?
That's not what I want to hear.
Yeah. But that's how it went, huh?
Yeah.
And then I would say there was the part with the big, whatever, 2019, 2020, 21, you know what, we all know what happened. That we started to question afterwards together. We started to question more things. So I would say that's how the story developed.
Yeah. And I think we hold that a bit. Because then maybe we had the whole Amsterdam thing. Also during the whole COVID time. There was a time because whole aviation of course was shut. That I was just at home.
Playing FIFA.
Also played FIFA, of course.
That hurts me. Like I'm just gonna keep throwing it in your face forever.
I'm not proud of that part.
I'm just gonna keep throwing it at you.
But I did, yeah.
So you know you're gonna hear it your whole life.
Yeah. But yeah, I also don't regret anything of that. Just like part of who I am today. And you have to sometimes find out certain things to see the other side, or. Anyway, so then we had a lot of time, I think also together, of course, and at home, which was nice for. I think then we also started to think more about buying a house, because we thought it's a good time, right? We are both at home, so we can buy something that needs renovation, because we have time for that.
I wanted something with renovation because I thought if we move somewhere, let's make it our own. And yeah, you know, if it's not 100, because it was impossible to find something 100% our style. So I said maybe it's just easier that we get like a project instead of just getting something like medium-ish that we would be, you know, like we still
like
have
half
to
finished.
change. Or like, you know, it has a floor, but it doesn't have the color that I like, or, you know, and then it's a shame to get it out and put something new, you know.
I think there's many reasons why that's also why we're still together. I think we agree on a lot of things based on life decisions.
Yeah.
Because we agreed, like, let's buy an old apartment to fix it ourselves. First of all, because it's cheaper. Second of all, it's easier to get, right? A fully furnished apartment everybody wants, especially people that cannot do construction. There's more value to win. If you someday want to sell it, you probably can add more value than a fully finished one. So luckily we managed, because in Amsterdam it's quite crazy to find something. It's expensive, it's a lot of competition.
Once we decided we want a house, everything went really smooth.
It's true. We were
like
just
the process and how we got, and like all the doors opened for us, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. If I look back.
Yeah. It was easy, smooth, like we did not have any issue.
Yeah, no help from anybody.
Yeah.
Just fix ourselves. We can be proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that if you're so sure about it, then everything falls, all the puzzle pieces, they come together, let's say. Anyway, so then we bought a house.
We bought an apartment.
We worked hard actually, because it was like a concrete bunker. We fixed it. Like
scraped walls, put floors, paint windows, paint walls, paint.
We had a bit of help, but we did a lot of things ourselves. we had all the time for, and I think we're both quite handy as well. You especially. Like compliments for a woman. It's not all the girls like it, maybe also to do construction.
I like to do things with
Yeah, and you're really creative.
hands, like
That helps. I'm not really creative with those things. I'm more like, you have the idea and I will execute. Anyway, that's what we did, and we bought a house of apartment. And I think then we came more and more onto this path of, maybe last podcast we spoke about this, like what are we doing? There came maybe a bit the triggers, like.
So we ended up with our own apartment. I ended up without a job. You ended up working quite a lot.
It's after COVID, yeah, I
Yeah.
worked my full-time
It
job
was,
again, yeah.
Back on track and kind of.
That also changed, because I'm not gonna lie about it. That COVID time was also quite nice, right? You're sitting at home. I was lucky to still get paid. That's like kind of. I have a lot of colleagues that say they didn't like it. But I was like, I don't know, like, what's so bad about it? Like, honestly, like. Although long term, I don't know how healthy it is, this whole thing, but that's maybe a different discussion. But for those months, like, great, right? I had so much time for myself. That also helped, I think. Time to be more critical, to read stuff. Anyway. So that's where we like fixed all of that, and then we started to be more critical, I think. And last week we spoke about what triggered us, maybe. We wanted a change. That's what we're looking for now with traveling.
Yeah.
But I think that's also like what summarizes us, I think, as a couple. Like the things we like to do together, like traveling, of course. But also, yeah, now that I think about it, we really like freedom, independency, and all those things you don't really have, I would say, if you're in the system, as we were.
We still are in the system, if you take it like that. We were just like, kind of in a box, I would say, back then.
Yeah,
Like, we could not get outside of a box. Like, literally, we were in the box in the apartment. And in a box of, you busy working in your stuff, and also me, on the other hand, I got on extreme. I did not work, but I did many things for myself, like, reading and trainings and all sorts of educational.
Yeah, that was for me, I think, the trigger at some point to go to more, maybe, how did we end up here? And I was thinking, okay, flying super cool. I had a nice company, nice colleagues. But to do that another 30 years, exact the same thing, well, it's always different. But it's the same principle, the same trick you're doing. To do that for another 30 years, I know that cringed me like crazy. And of course,
also our apartment was the same, like at some point, like I really loved that apartment because we made it, but it was my vision mainly in there, I can say that.
You did more decoration, yeah, for sure.
So it was like 100% us.
Yeah, it was home.
Yeah. But with all the love I was invested in there, I felt like, I'm so restricted. Like, I need more grounding.
Yeah. Maybe for me that was a bit different because I had my things because you were way more physically at home, of course. I was still doing my stuff, or I slept a night in Spain, or for flying, for work. So that's a bit different for me. It was not like, home again. It was maybe sometimes even the opposite. Nice, home, you have your comfort, all those things. Which I still, so far, don't miss. Anyway. But yeah, it's like, for me it was more and I think a lot of people have this. this kind of, right, doing the same job for a long time, I think everybody at some point finds it boring. Either they don't admit it,
Yeah.
or you don't know better because, yeah, what else can I do? You know, this kind of thing. But of course, it's really scary to leave that behind and to start believing that you can do something else.
Well, of course it is. Like, it was scary for me to leave the job at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Although I told you, okay, now I know everything. I know that casa by hand. I know every single bottle in where it is, in which tray or whatever.
Yeah, it's
like,
your,
name something, I know everything. Like, now you wake me up at 2 o'clock, I know it.
Yeah.
And I told you, I can't develop anymore. What else can I do? Like,
Yeah,
I can't develop. And I was telling you, I'm not developing anymore. And yet it was scary to leave it.
Yeah, because that's your safety, yeah?
Yeah.
You know everything.
Yeah.
Same with flying at some point. That's also, it becomes a bit more dangerous, of course, that you just go literally on autopilot. You just, sometimes you don't even know what you're really doing, but you're just doing it, you know, like, that can be tricky sometimes. But indeed, that's where a bit your development stops,
Yeah.
I think. And I was also, of course, that's because people can maybe think, hey guys, you can do a middle way, right? Working part-time and still live maybe abroad. And
Yeah,
and
like
this
after we started to announce this decision to our closest friends, I think they started to come up with solutions for us.
no, yeah, or maybe indeed the middle ways, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think we were already quite convinced, like, yeah, if that's also, I think, typical for us. If you do something, you do it good.
We go high or we go home, huh?
Yeah. I have to say I also learned that from you, I think, more than you from me. Because I can be also the middleman.
If I might say, you always
Yeah,
say about me that I'm black and white.
Credits for Anda on this.
No, but sometimes it can be in my disadvantage. Come on, sometimes it's
Yeah,
really
no,
bad.
I know.
Don't see any gray shade. For
Yeah,
me, it's either that or that. Like
sometimes
that.
I have to break you a bit, yeah, to be more the middleman, let's say. Some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also, I think, a good balance with us. You're more the extreme. I'm more the sober, ground down to earth. I think that's also good mix for us.
I'm also down to earth, but I can be black or white.
Yeah, true. You're a bit more extreme, I would say.
Yeah.
With stuff.
Extreme,
Yeah.
So we decided that the middle way doesn't really suit us. 'Cause
Yeah, well,
we would just not have everything of something. We would
Correct.
just have something of both things, but
Yeah,
not
because-
everything of.
yeah, for example, our best plan B, I would say, was maybe to go to Spain. So we will move from Netherlands to Spain
Yeah.
because of a lot of things, weather, food, name it, beach.
And commute for yourself.
Yeah, so I still have to work in Netherlands part-time. But yeah, I'm half of the time gone. We're not together. I always have to go up and down. Maybe also not the nicest. Always stressing about being on time. Those kind of things. And we just separate also a lot. Plus you need to, I don't know, you have double living cost maybe. Because I have half of the time I have to be in Netherlands. So we're like, and long term we also thought, right, about this. Like, okay, if we want to have a family or kids, how is that going to be
working?
I mean, I know I have colleagues that do this, but
it is doable, but yeah, I did not see it happening. I told you,
I think
like, not in my family. Like, that
now
would not be.
we agree that it's not the ideal way to, I don't know, even raise kids and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also agree on that. It's like, so yeah, there was only one option left basically, like jump in a big black hole.
Yeah, we jumped big, I think.
Although that's also funny because this was, I think, 2-year process, right? We were thinking about, okay, we're gonna leave everything behind.
2 years process was maybe, if you consider that we were thinking about commuting, we were thinking about relocating, but not thinking about quitting Netherlands and quitting job.
True. I remember I told you also, like, I studied always so hard. I invested a lot of money in.
Oh yeah, that's another story.
Yeah, we had those discussions. Yeah, I was always like, my job is like holy, kind of.
Yeah, that was first your job.
Yeah.
And then
And I said, like, I'm never gonna quit it.
Yeah.
those kind of things. Yeah, crazy now if I think about it.
It's normal, I think, somehow. I think back then I didn't know many things I know today about, let's say, how should be a relationship, about polarities, femininity,
Yeah.
masculinity, many things that I found out years later on. But even when we had to take the decision back in Edinburgh, I was rather happy that you have your job. And I sacrificed on my part because I didn't feel it that important for me to keep on my job per
Yeah,
se
true.
than for you to have it. And yeah, I found out later on it's more masculine that you
Yeah.
keep on with the job. Like it's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
normal.
That's honestly also now the thing that now that we made, that was for me the most hard to give up on that providing part, I would say, because yeah, I had it all, right. I had a good job. We could do whatever we want because of that, money wise, let's say. And
Whatever, but with limitations, because
of course the limitations. Not
the craziest thing we did was last year in Vietnam for a month. That was what we could squeeze.
yeah, because then you have to go back to work again, of course. Yeah, after the time.
Yeah.
Which anyway, people find amazing that you have a month off, right? And we're like, no, there must be more, like a month is not enough. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's why I struggled with the most. Like, and that's also when we started traveling, or now that we started this, of course, that's kind of my first worry also. Like, a bit of the money thing, it's on me. That's how I feel it also. And I like it also.
You should feel it.
Anna doesn't feel guilty.
I'm not taking that part, that job of yours. I'm not taking. No,
No.
I don't want to. Like, it might sound like I'm a spoiled, whatever, like, but it's somehow normal. We found out later on, but this may be subject for other podcasts,
Yeah.
right?
So
And also how you keeping up with finance. That's also subject for another podcast.
yeah, that's.
It's, we can develop other
I
time.
love to talk about it.
So, did we really answer the question of the podcast? Like, how come that we reached
The triggers and
the triggers and what was behind of this crazy idea?
I think that all comes together also in the name that we now made for the podcast, right? Because we're thinking, okay, how are we gonna name it? It should have a name. And what's us? Of course, we could have gone for the classic Anda Jelte or something like that. But all of this is basically, right, to create a new lifestyle. That's what we want. That's what we're doing. That's our goal. And where that's gonna end, we'll see. And yeah, I think that's also, it describes perfectly like what we're doing and probably where we're gonna speak about more. And I think it's gonna be a lot like this kind of red line, I would say, between how it was
And
what we want or how it is at the moment. A bit of like overlaps in that.
yeah, because it's important, it's important to remember where you started, as important as it is to remember the history, because that's also a subject for another podcast.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that's why we suffer so much in general, that we don't remember many things.
Yeah, that we indeed don't learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Or.
But
yeah.
that's subject for another podcast.
Yeah.
Do you wanna round it?
In the end, I think to end it a bit positive, maybe. What are you most proud of or happy with, like making this decision to quit everything?
What I am most proud of? Our courage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would.
That's the most. Yeah.
When I was asking the question, I was thinking like, because I knew you were gonna probably ask me as well. I was like, what is? But for me, it's the same actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because.
I don't know many people who would have this courage.
Yeah, it is fucking scary.
It is scary,
Yeah.
but I don't mind to jump in there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps a lot that you're not alone maybe in this, for sure. And I think at some point, and we can speak also about it later, you start to more see it, like, hey, what we're doing, it doesn't make sense. Like financially not, even though it looks amazing, right? You have an own house, good job, everything. There's a lot of downsides about it as well. And there's way more smart ways, I would say, to deal with that. And to, yeah, literally live like we do now. Like, just do what we want. If we tomorrow want to go with a car somewhere in the mountains, we go there.
Which we will do.
And no, but that is okay. Back to the question, like you need a lot of courage, yes, but already now I feel you get so much back. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but I said, I think the courage is the most thing that we can appreciate the most in what we did. Like, because
And
we did not let the fear kill our vision.
yeah,
As hard as it is, and I'm not gonna lie, it is.
yeah,
It is
And also-
really hard.
yeah, and also I think for me it's also maybe the judgment from whatever people, system, everybody involved, and the judgment of, dude, what are you doing?
But that also is related to courage.
Yeah,
you
true.
have the courage to not care about the
Yeah,
judgment.
true. Or to like now speak about it. There's also something like, yeah, why would I do that? You know, all this little voice in your head, or what will people think about it? Or what if people don't like it? Okay, yeah, they don't like it, you know.
Then they don't watch it.
Yeah, indeed, it's like, and again, it's more from what we in general always try to do, like look at the side, the winning side, and not the losing side. Like, hey, what do I all lose? No, try to see like what's there to gain. And indeed, if we, yeah, literally, like if we can only stimulate one person with this,
To do it, yeah.
or a couple that is maybe watching and thinks, hey, oh, so recognizable, you know, all those things, those struggles. And I think that's for us the same, right? If you see couples that, yeah, also doing the same maybe, it's so inspiring. And
Their inspiration, yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, I'm not alone. And
Yeah.
there's more people doing this. And oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that,
And come on, like the internet is full of many things that if you really think about, they're rubbish. And why not just put something out there that can eventually help somebody,
no, that's,
right?
yeah.
Instead of just watching, I don't know, random stuff that you watch anyway.
Yeah, that's important. And in the end, I think it's important to resonate with things as a couple or personally. Anyway, I think that's, what can we say more? Like,
I think we should round it here. Then.
yeah, right? It's kind of like,
Keep it for
we have the name
next
now,
time.
we have officially a name. Not that we put so much value to that, I think. But anyway, you need a name, right? If you want to be on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
So we came up with that. I think, yeah, we kind of explained
Yeah.
why that is and a bit about our background. Of course, we can go way deeper in our whole romantic love story, right? How we met, or But-
we can in another podcast.
yeah. We keep saying that. So then there's so many has to follow now. So many subjects.
If they're interested, maybe we have to write them down to not forget about it.
or otherwise, people
Otherwise,
can
remind
tell us, huh? Yeah,
remind
yeah,
us, hey,
yeah.
you said you're going to speak about it.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
I think it's because it's also late night here, because people think if you're traveling, like you have all the time in the world, but
You don't, because
somehow like
you have a crazy girlfriend that wants to see this and that and that and that.
yeah, and that makes always a good list of things that we have to see in one day. Yeah,
That's it.
we speak also about that another time.
Yeah.
How many things Anda can fit in a day?
Yeah.
Like, keep that for the next one. Yeah, good. Thanks for your input. And let's go to bed, I think.
Yeah.
Well, good night.
Good night.
If you like it, of course, keep watching. We probably will make more of those talks, podcasts, talks or whatever it is.
Conversations.
And,
yeah.
We keep you up to date with all the traveling and the subjects. So hopefully see you the next time. Ciao, ciao.
Doei.